Most people don't know this about me, but I've actually had 5 shoulder surgeries over the course of the past 15 years. I have trained through them, I have rehab through them, and I have honestly flat out ignored them at times. And I am now at a point where it is time to get a full shoulder replacement on my right shoulder. This is going to be my video on why I am where I am and what's to come next. So all my shoulder issues originated back in high school. So back in high school, I played lacrosse and I wrestled all 4 years. In '99, I actually took a really bad fall. I got hip tossed by a gentleman during a wrestling match, and both his weight and my weight came crashing down on my elbow. Obviously, our body weight pushing into the mat, my elbow being, pushed away from the mat, my clavicle just snapped. So that's what started all of my shoulder issues. From there, it was just literally a back and forth match of shoulder issues ever since. So from my left, we go over to my right shoulder, and in 2004, I had a cracked shoulder blade and a torn labrum. So I had the shoulder blade glued back together. I had the labrum surgically repaired. I was not honestly very good at rehab at the time. I was so aggressive in being physically active that I did not let any of these injuries heal properly. So I just continued to have issues, right? 2007, I had a labrum tear in my left shoulder. So that was again my original issue in '99. So that was surgically repaired at that point. And then those were my 2 major surgeries as far as repairing my labrum. Now going back to my right shoulder, 2013, I had a bicep tendinitis and a debridement. So they basically went in, they cleaned out my shoulder joint, and then they clipped my bicep from my shoulder and then actually re-looped it into my humerus. So that was my right shoulder again in 2013, and then in 2018 I had honestly the exact same procedure done on my left shoulder, where they trimmed my bicep off of my shoulder. They then re-looped my bicep into my humerus. Now both my biceps and both my long heads are drilled into my humerus. So that's kind of the extent of my shoulder procedures. And every time I'd have these procedures, thought I was past it, and then I'd get inflammation, I'd get an impingement, or I'd have some type of pain with overhead work. And it was just a constant nagging reminder to me that I have shoulder issues, and it's just been a nagging cycle ever since. So for years, I just, have lived with and operated on the daily with chronic shoulder pain, and it became normal for me. So I didn't even really know what it was like to have good shoulders. It's been so long since I've actually have had a pain-free day. I mean, even when you talk about, the limitations, like putting on a shirt, brushing your teeth, doing anything overhead, even sleeping to a point where, you can only sleep in certain positions because just the way my shoulder would get, there'd be an impingement or get pins and needles down my arm into my fingers or whatnot, and it might not be the most comfortable thing to experience, but it's like, how do you sleep? It's just, there's been so many things I've just dealt with chronically that to me has just become the norm, that I finally got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm done managing this. Like, this is a lot. And for me, that breaking point came in the gym, because when I train, now it's very dumbed down. It is very, very modified from how I would normally train if I didn't have these limitations that I have on my shoulders. Mentally, I am still very young and aggressive and mentally just ready to tackle anything and to do anything. I'm still willing to put my body through anything. However, physically, I am just not there. My body has limitations at 43 years old with 5 shoulder surgeries, other injuries that I obviously will talk about, later down the road, and then now getting a partial replacement. I am very limited, right? So I am just ready to get myself back to a place to where I can do the things that I love to do. And I'd say a few months ago, I was in the gym and my shoulder is just getting to the point where my strength is starting to decrease and my range of motion is getting worse, and it's becoming more and more painful to train. So I decided to take the next steps and get this shoulder replacement. That is what we'll talk about next.